As you know, in Cura 5.5 we now have ability to write plugins for every part of the slicing process. If we can write code, of course. I managed to avoid that this time, and if you don't yet know, you're about to. For this video, I'm going to demonstrate one of the cool plugins that are already there, Tiled Infill, and I have a project for you. And just for the fun of it, we are going to make it completely inside Cura. It's soap dish that's easy to clean, looks pretty, and will keep my solid shampoo from premature death. At least, that's the theory. Of course, you can use pre-made models too. Here's a nice one by Bagel Slayer. I prepared a few infill patterns already, the link is down below. You'll need a few plugins, calibration shapes for the cylinder, tiled infill for custom infills, both from Marketplace. After installing, put infill files into tiles folder and restart Cura. Add a cylinder from calibration shapes. Resize it to your liking. I unchecked uniform scaling to make it oval. Duplicate that model and set it aside. One part will be a dish with a bottom, and another is an insert with infill holes in it. Choose Scale and tile the infill pattern for the inner part. Hexagon tiling option basically treats patterns as honeycombs. I'll demonstrate on my snowflake pattern. And the square option is just a plain repeat. Since the model won't have any bottom, all the infill lines should be connected into one lattice, so not every pattern will work here. Lower the height of the inner model, I make it 8 mm. We only need infill here, so I use per-model settings to set top-bottom thickness to 0, and do the same with wall count. We do want a wall around to catch disconnected infill pieces at the sides, so I use extra infill wall count and set it to 2. Now I add clearance to be able to slide the insert in and out of the main dish. You may want it tighter, but I'll be generous and take 1.4 mm off each side, so remove 1.8 mm per axis for X and Y. Sadly, Cura doesn't do math in the fields like, say, Inkscape, FreeCAD, and GIMP do. But we don't need much math to subtract 1.8 mm, do we? So I'll do that manually. Finally, I set infill lines to be 1 mm thick or more. And I generally keep infill layer thickness to be almost 0.3, because if I set it exactly to 0.3, flow indicator gets upset. With layers so wide and thick, I need to lower infill speed to stay in the safe flow limits for my hot end, which is Creality Sprite. And I also take a good look at the ceiling and print it 10 degrees hotter than usual. We can choose to print the outer dish in VARS mode, but we'll have to print them separately, because there is no setting for VARS mode in per-model settings. Cura calls it Spiralized Outer Contour, but we all call it VARS mode, am I right? Well, some of you call it Vase mode. I prefer to keep them in the same project, so I compromise, using normal mode, 1 mm thick walls, only one wall in fact, and setting to print without a top or infill. I really hope it printed well and fits and holds my shampoo and you are currently watching all that happening. Otherwise, I'll have to record a new script. Guess what? I have recorded a new script. As you can see, my original plan mostly worked. Ugly seams come with the territory when the lines are so wide, but tuned linear advance helps with that. Yeah, I forgot to change the value from PLA prints. I remembered on this one and also printed it in VARS mode. I get neater results with thinner infill lines and lines multiplier. I used 2 lines here. Yet it's less sturdy than 1 mm line, and the same width is used for infill walls, so the purple version is more flexible. They both would be more rigid in PLA. I think both look okay when put upside down, so I'll be willing to accept some wavy lines. Which one do you prefer? The main trouble came from the scaling. Despite being 0.8 mm smaller and not having any outside walls, the insert print was no smaller than the outer dish. I had to remove full 4 mm from each axis, so 2 mm from each side, to get these inserts that can slide in and out. So my assumptions of the slicer logic were vastly wrong, and removing the walls does not make the print smaller. Same goes for the top and bottom. There is no way to get a better combine setting because it's infill after all. It's not supposed to be seen, so the nozzle will nonchalantly travel across. Even with linear advance and normal line width, I still had to clip off some persistent string walls and apply some hot air from the soldering station. As to saving from premature death, we'll see in a month or two. Come again for more cutting, slicing and printing, and of course more leaves.